He'll work it out.
And Dee Lauderdale joins us again, as always, on a Wednesday. Anytime you got any questions, just let us know about it. They can get you which way, Dee?
On my website, DeeLauderdale.com. My email address is on there. All of that kind of stuff's on there.
DeeLauderdale.com. Now, you say you had a controversial article.
I did, and it's so weird, because I didn't think it was going to be that controversial. The name of the article was, "A Minimum Wage Job is Supposed to Suck." And it all started because in Seattle they raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Which sounds like a lot.
It's way too much, but that wasn't even my point. My point was it was too much to pay somebody because they'll get comfortable in that and they'll never try to do anything better. That was my whole point, that especially young guys, if you give them just enough money to stay ahead of the bill collectors, there goes their motivation. There goes
ambitions.
Right. And it just made no sense to me. And so when people were claiming that fast food workers should make $15 an hour or whatever, or they call it a living wage, and I don't even know what that means, a living wage, I said that those jobs aren't designed for that. Like, one of the reasons I would get up and be here at 6 o'clock in the morning to do this show is because I want to do something with my book and stuff. But where did I learn to do that? Working in a hayfield for $1 an hour. Because I don't want to go back and work in a hayfield for $1 an hour.
Chopping cotton.
Well, I mean, sometimes you have to take that lesser job.
But working in a hayfield ain't easy.
No, nor is picking peaches or painting new houses in the middle of the summer like I did for one of my uncles. None of that.
What about those roofers?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Gosh.
You know,
let me guess, Richard Lauderdale.
Yes.
Yes.
Who's actually cousin his dad.
Houses for us.
Yeah. So it was just, those jobs are not supposed to. You're not supposed to be able to raise a family working at McDonald's. They were never designed for that, and yet everybody wants to do that. Well, it's because you can work 20 hours a week, they think, and still survive. And that's not the design of it. You know.
But, let me ask you, on that same premise, something I talked to you earlier about this morning, you take that and you go to somebody like me who's comfortable in what they're doing. Well, why don't we try to, you got the world at your fingertips here, why don't you try to make more of it?
Well,
comfort zone.
It is. We get, what did they just do the survey, and they said the amount of money that people need to make to be comfortable was like $70,000 a year, whatever the number was. Well, once you get to that point, you get comfortable. Well, there's a verse in the Bible that explains this. It's in Proverbs, and the verse says this: "It's good for a worker to have an empty stomach. An appetite drives him home." That's what drives you, is just pure survival sometimes. That's what gets you up and get going. That'll get you motivated enough to then do something because you like it. I mean, like, you enjoy doing the show, right? It's the other part of running your business that you don't. Well, you got to do that other part of the business to be able to do this.
Help the show, right.
Right. If you don't do that, you don't get to do this.
Without
well, let's go back to your article there. Why did people chastise you for that?
One guy thought that I was demeaning minimum wage jobs. And I said, no, you've missed the point. There's value and honor in any job well done. We should all try to do the very best. I said, what I'm trying to tell you is you're not supposed to stay in them. You're not supposed to, and actually what I wrote one guy was, my problem is when you say you should pay me a certain amount of money, that's an entitlement issue. That's you saying you should do this just because. My point was, get a skill, develop a trade, get an education, whatever you got to do, so you don't have to work in jobs like that. I went to college for 2 years at night after I was married so I could get an education, so if I ever worked for somebody who wasn't treating me well, I could quit. I had options, and that was the problem. I'm all about develop your own self. You're the only one that's responsible for yourself.
Because you never know when somebody's going to come in and say, hey, I sold to this other guy or whatever, or we're cutting back.
You just don't know.
Microsoft laying off 8,000
no
workers.
Jobs forever.
18,000.
18,000.
Yeah, I mean, there is no such thing as job
security. Who never thought that would happen?
Right, and that's kind of the myth that's happened, is people think there's a such thing as job security. Well, there's not.
Well,
there's no job that's secure.
You hire a new employee and they're doing wonderful and doing great, and then, okay, after a month the newness wears off, then it's like pulling teeth to try to get them what they were hired to do.
It can be, and I know a lot of people aren't real big Dave Ramsey fans, but he does one thing that's really smart. Everybody in his organization, except for the receptionist, has part of their pay, their compensation, tied to performance. So there's commission, however you want to say it. Because really, if you think about it, everybody in the world lives on commission, right?
Everybody's in sales.
Everybody is in sales.
Yeah.
Because if your company is not selling a product, they can't pay you.
Right.
no different than you. If you can't sell advertisers, you don't get to sit here and do the thing that you really enjoy. And so everybody is selling something, whether themselves or whatever. And what happens is people forget a business owner is trying to make money. And one of the things that he can control is labor cost. And so he's going to pay an amount.
Well, this is what Dr. Holiday just said, 70% of their budget is for teachers.
Yeah.
It's salary.
Yeah, exactly. But on the other side of the coin is me as an employee, I want to be paid the absolute most I can get. Well, I got to get trained or have some skill or something that an employer is willing to pay money for.
Got to wrap this up. How can people get in touch with you again? Your
DeeLauderdale.com.
Is everything in your book?
Everything is on there. The book sales on there. Everything's on there.
What do you get out of it? Well, actually, one quick question here, Brad, bear with me. What do you get out of writing this?
I'm trying to help guys get better. I got 2 daughters that I wanted to be able to find good husbands. One already has found a great kid. They're getting married in August, and I got another one. I just wanted them to have choices. And I knew our world was not going to survive if we don't have good men.
Raise
He's
your
with us every
standards.
Wednesday here. Y'all can catch
Raise
him
your
up.
standards.
And then he's going to teach us all how to be better. Thank you, Dee.
Enjoyed it. Thanks
All
for
right,
having me.
we're going to take a break for the day, bright and early tomorrow morning. Shut up, we'll be back. And Joseph's not with us this week, but he is via videotape. So
Yes,
we'll
he
see you at
is.
the Henry Ford Museum.
He's having a ball.
Bye.
Bye.